I'm gonna see how many snap peas I have to grow on these beds. It's amazing how sad the garden looks when it's winter and you forget how beautiful it gets later in the summer. But let me show you what I'm thinking of doing. The garden does look sad, but I have these round beds that I think I can grow some really great peas on. So I think I'm gonna do a couple of layouts, ideas for how I'm gonna lay this bed. Oh, look at that soil. The soil looks so good with the leaves that I placed on top. They're really bringing some life to the soil. But I have also trellises on the back. I placed the leaves all over, even in the back pollinator garden. These two trellises, I'm gonna show you when I sketch exactly the both alternatives I have for it. This is where I grow my tomatoes in the summer, but I'm gonna take advantage of these beds and grow some spring things that will look really beautiful to start waking up the garden. And they're gonna go all the way up to the top. I think it's gonna look really pretty. I have these trellises here. I may do something similar on these, but I'm gonna sketch the other ones for you so you can see the idea I have. I just cannot wait. Let's go take a look at the other bed where I want to grow them. This is the box my husband built me, and I'm gonna grow some on the back here. So I'm gonna follow the same idea I have on the round beds to this right here. It's gonna look beautiful. Okay, now that you can see my garden beds that are so bare, but where I'm gonna grow the peas, the next step is I am going to figure out what I'm gonna grow with it. So if you're a beginner gardener, this would be super helpful because, I mean, I like to grow because I want it to look beautiful and just feel super peaceful, but I don't want to miss on growing stuff that I can eat in my garden beds. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna grow with it. And I'm gonna get a beautiful harvest out of it throughout the spring. Here, our spring, I mean, I can probably harvest peas until June or end of June if it's like the last couple of years, so I should be okay with whatever I put there when it comes to spring. The other thing is that no matter if you're growing in a container, in a planter, whatever you're growing, just take the idea. You don't have to do exact same layout, but you can layer the things the way that I'm gonna layer them. So let's go ahead and sketch that. But before I sketch, I have a big announcement to make, and it's that finally this free gift that I've been wanting to do for all of you is completed. It has taken me, I think since last summer I started. I wanted to do this when I turned 1,000 subscribers and have something that was meaningful and helpful, and I finally finished it and I am so happy. I hope that this is so helpful for you. It is a yearly planner, but it's a mindset reset planner. I know that when I was in my darkest time, I used something very similar to this. So I'm taking ideas out of my own experience, and then I translated those into what I did with my garden later on. So if this is something you're looking for, it has some ways to manifest, to track what you need to do, but also find time to be able to center yourself and figure out what is the thing that you need the most in your life. And if you don't know that, transferring the knowledge into a garden is almost impossible. My channel is not about how to garden, but really how to experience the gardening and bring that experience into your life in the most effective way. So take a look, get your free yearly planner. You can use it year after year. And there's an extra gift that I place is on my website. I'll put links of, I think I can put links of everything below. If you cannot get it there, go ahead and head over to my website and you can get the free gifts. I hope you enjoy them. If you have tips on anything you would like me to go ahead and add at another time, or how it's worked or how to improve it, please let me know. I hope that this is helpful for you. It's coming from my heart, and enjoy and take every step and time that you need to spend time with a journal, because it will make a big difference in your life. I know that it made a big difference for me in my life. This is where I keep all my seeds, so I think I'm going to do some of the snow peas. I'll do this piece. Some dwarf gray, some progresso, pea shelling. This is the shelling pea, and then golden sweet. We can look at two options for the same round bed. I have a 42-inch round bed, and it has a trellis right in the center that I showed you. One option is put a square on the round bed as you approach it. How do you see it? Or make it on an angle so you see the flat side if you approach from the left to the right or the right to the left. I kind of like it at an angle, so I think I may end up doing that. But if you did either one, it would be the same thing. You would put your peas 3 inches apart, 2 to 3 inches. I'm probably going to do only 3 plants on each. And then I'm going to put the dwarf ones right in the corner of that trellis. And those are only 2 feet high. So it will add a nice little bush being on each of those corners. The peas are going to look beautiful because they flower before they give you the peas themselves. And that will add so much color and interest to that corner. And I think I'm going to go ahead, and once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and plant some lettuces. And there's the Merlot lettuce, which is red, but you can combine red and then some romaine and then another red. I may end up doing all red. I haven't decided, but I'm going to probably put 3 on each side. And I want to add more color, but I want it to be edible. So I think that the Merlot lettuce will look really beautiful if I go ahead and add some pansies. So right in front of each of those lettuces, I think I'm going to do some pansies. And I have different color pansies. So I'll be able to add some really beautiful sort of color that varies. And the pansies, the great thing is that they vary in size. They also vary whether they're like ruffle looking, and also I'm going to do some violas on those areas also. It would look so pretty, the combination of them, so I may mix them around. That will bring so much color to the bed, and it will soften the edges. So the edges already soft, it's a round shape, but it's still a sort of metal bed. So when I add that softness in some areas so that it looks really flowy and dreamy and cozy. So I think that's going to end up being my plan. On each of these, you can translate this to your own container or bed. Maybe you add 2 peas that are climbing peas with a little bush type dwarf pea, and then your pansies in front. So I think I may end up going with option B as far as on an angle. Now there's the long planter box that my husband made on the back. I think that I'm going to do the peas, maybe 3 to 4, probably 3 because they do grow quite a bit. And then I'm going to do 2 of the dwarf right in the center. That would kind of anchor the center of that bed nicely, and then it will give me plenty of different types of peas. So I think the left may be one type, the right would be one type, and the center would be another type. So I get different types of flowers, and then I also get different types of peas. On the corners, I'm going to do the pansies again. That would add a lot of sort of interest and softness to the harsh corners. And then visually, I'll be able to attach the look of my round beds to that planter box. And I'm going to repeat this on the smaller ones that are attached to this bed, but I don't want to overwhelm you with information. So I think I'm going to sort of follow this same concept. As you can see, you can do it for any kind, and then put the lettuces right in the center. Whether they're Merlot lettuce or the romaine lettuce, I will decide when I'm kind of looking at everything. I may do romaine on one side and the Merlot on the other. And I think that I want to soften it even more. I need something. I think the corners are good, but I think I'm going to add some more pansies right in the center too. So maybe I'll do the larger pansies on each corner, and then the violas right in the center on the front. And I think that will bring like a different texture to the center. So it will be more anchor with the larger ones. And then the little ones on the viola on the center would actually soften that whole edge really nicely. So as you can see, there's many things you can do with spring sort of plants. and be able to get incredible harvests. So try this. Let me know what your layout is going to be like and if you plan to use some of these ideas on your own garden. I can't wait to hear what your plan is. And what are you most excited about to create this year as far as what you want to grow or do for yourself? For me, is growing for my family as much in food and enjoyment in the garden. Start sowing this sweet pea, but here's my setup. I have my soil here, my cells and the covers and this, and then I have my little water thing to the left right here. So I'm gonna start. Don't want to have to get up and do anything. They're pretty big seeds, so I go about 3 times as deep as they're big, the size of them. So let's see what they say. 1/2 inch deep. Yeah, that's about what I'm doing. So they're not tiny like the basil seeds or anything like that. I'm gonna do this golden sweet pea. I think I'm gonna do 2 rows of these. I think these are so pretty, and these are all vines, so I think I may do 2 per cell just because I don't know how good they are. Whoop. And I probably could have soaked them, but they may just take longer, then I'm okay. They take longer, they take longer. You can soak them, or you could scarify them with a file, just brush them so that they open easier. But I don't do that outside, so I'm not gonna do that inside. I do it for the sweet peas. It does help with the sweet peas to go a lot faster, but with these, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 of these, which are the shelling peas. These are delicious. I did have these before. And they're pea shelling progress number 9. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 per cell. If this feels like the kind of gardening you want more of, the slow, soulful kind, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so we can grow together. Do 1 more. In the mat, just because even though they're a cool season crop, the heat will make these germinate a lot faster than if I didn't put it on the heat. The beautiful seedlings. It's been a little over a week and they're already so large. They even gave me every single seed, so every cell has 2 seedlings on it. I like for them to get at least 4 leaves, true leaves, not the first set of leaves, and these are perfect. So now I'm getting ready to pot them. So make sure that they have enough leaves, that you're not potting them too young. Like this would be too young right here. See how it's just a tiny little baby with a couple little true leaves and the main beginner leaves in them. I wouldn't pot that. I'll wait until they're a little bigger. I'm gonna use larger pots, these really deep ones, because they do have deep tap roots and they may be here for a couple of weeks until the danger of a frost is over. So that's probably going to be the best. And I'm gonna use some potting soil, and I'm going to also add some compost. They will do fine if you give them some compost, because they just need a lot of nitrogen to get going. And eventually I may give it a 10-10-10 fertilizer when they're already outside, but for now just the compost will do just fine to give them what I want. If you've seen that they're turning yellow, I go ahead and add fish emulsion to them, and I added to begin with at 1/3 of the strength, so it's not too strong for them. Don't shock them. So let's get going and I'll pot these beauties. I'm gonna be using potting soil with some compost on the soil that I use for when I pot them. They are looking beautiful. This is a few days later again, and they are growing so much. I think they are really amazing just how fast they've grown. They're so easy to divide. Look how wide those roots are, but see, you can just very softly hold them from the base, not the top, so you won't break it, and then go ahead and pot it. You will see when you bring them out that the roots, can you see how long those roots are? They really have a deep roots, so you want a pretty deep pot if you're gonna pot them. Old man with silver hair sitting in his rocking chair. Soon you'll be there. Although it's easy to remember. I really like this clear cells because you can see the root. Look how wide it is, but it's starting to come out from the bottom, and you don't want that. So I really had to get going on potting these. All this trick of the memory, we call them good old days. Although sweet in the moment, it's poison for you. Listen to the same old tunes you heard before. You even knew the language. Once you pot them, go ahead and place your tray under the light. This will have to move up one shelf when I make space so they have more space to the light. But be sure that they're 2 to 3 inches from the light, don't make them too far. And water from the bottom. I did water from the top because the soil was really dry. Those deep roots need that water, so from the bottom is always better. If you're going to direct sow them, just placing the seed outside, look at the seed and just place a couple of them per hole, and eventually you will have beautiful peas to harvest. You must tie them as they start growing. You don't want to let them fall down. They could break very easily, so take your time and just tie them up so that they will do really well. They have the most beautiful flowers, and harvesting them is everything to me. They are just so delicious, and there's so many different types: nut peas, sugar peas, shelling peas. So take a look to see what attracts you the most, or maybe grow one of each so you can try them all. I am always in awe how one little seed transforms a garden. It is just beauty to watch it. Continue to garden for your mind, body, and soul.